Saint John the Dwarf is one of the legendary Desert Fathers. As a young man, he decided to go to the monastic wilderness of Skeet in Egypt. There, he would pass his whole life in prayer and manual labor. John was born in the year 339 in the town of Thebes, Egypt. He was raised in poverty, and he decided to move into a monastery in the desert, along with his older brother, Daniel. As you could guess by John's name, he wasn't a very tall person. In addition to being short in height, he was also short-tempered and proud of himself. In the desert, they were under the tutelage of St. Pombo. Life in the monastery was tough. They lived in isolation and poverty. John ate only one meal per day. Once, John told his elder brother that he did not want to be concerned about clothing and food, and that he wished to live like the angels in paradise. Daniel agreed and let him do whatever he desired. John went out from the cell and removed his clothing. It was very cold at night, and after a week, John became hungry. That night, John went back to the monastery and began to knock on the door of the cell. "Who is it?" Daniel asked. "It is I, your brother John." Daniel replied, "John has become an angel and is no longer among men." John continued to knock, but Daniel would not let him in until morning. Daniel opened the doors, and he said, "You are a man and must work again if you want to eat." John wept bitterly, asking for forgiveness. After being brought to his senses, John went to St. Pombo, known for his firm and steadfast will, and having asked guidance, he promised to be obedient in all things. St. Pombo straightway gave John a dry stick. "Plant this in the ground," he ordered, "and water it every day." The command was a test as well as a task. John obeyed at once, without question or delay. The nearest water source was 12 miles away. Faithfully, John buried the seemingly dead piece of wood in the ground and walked back and forth, day and night, for 3 years, watering the branch. My channel got demonetized a few days ago. I love creating content for you all, and I'm really passionate about what I do. But without the support of monetization, it's becoming increasingly challenging to keep up with the costs associated with making videos. We already have a PayPal donation link and a Patreon page where those of you who are willing and able can support the channel directly. Every donation, no matter how small, will go a long way in helping me cover expenses like equipment, software, and the time I invest in creating videos. Thank you so much, and God bless you. One day, John awoke to the glow of the early morning sunrise to see several small green leaves protruding from the lifeless desert soil. The small shoot eventually blossomed into a large fruit tree. John had passed the test. St. Pombo collected the fruit and distributed it among his companions. "Take," he told them, "and eat the fruit of obedience." A new monastery, the Tree of Obedience, was built around the tree. It is not surprising that such a simple soul would be single-minded in his service to God. He cared nothing for the news of the day. In fact, his focus was so intense that he was often absent-minded about worldly things. But he could spend a whole night and day without break discussing spiritual matters with another monk. After the departure of Pombo, John was ordained a priest by Pope Theophilus and became abbot of the monastery he founded around the Tree of Obedience. Towards the end of St. John's life, Berbers from the west raided the monastic fastness of Skete. He led his monks across the Nile to where St. Anthony had resided and continued a life of prayer and contemplation. When they saw that his death was imminent, St. John's disciples asked him to give them one final spiritual lesson. Still too humble to want to be thought an expert, he simply said, "I have never followed my own will, nor did I ever teach another what I had not practiced myself." He soon died after, and his soul was seen carried to heaven by angels.